What's going on, guys? This is Doug, Noble Moto on Instagram. Today, we're going to be working on a few things on the pit bike here. I'm going to take the plastics off in the seat just to make room so that anything else we're working on under there is easy to get to. I'm going to do the foot pegs and the rear brake lever and the kickstand today. I'll also be doing everything associated with the handlebars, the levers, the handlebar grips, all that stuff. So yeah, it should be an easy day. Let's get to it. All right, these plastics are really easy to get off. There are 2 bolts here in the top, 2 bolts on the inside here, and 2 bolts back under here. All of these plastics in the seat are fastened together individually, but it's easiest if you just take the whole thing off as one unit. You don't have to take each part off individually. Even if you're going to change just one part, I would recommend taking the whole thing off and then taking it apart from there. And then to take it off, the whole thing just pops off here. Just like that. It all comes apart as one unit. All right, so next we're gonna take off the little bracket here for the foot pegs. It's a 14 millimeter socket. So there's the old one. Here we have the new one. Don't want to tighten these down extremely tight. I don't have actual specs as far as the torque specs, but I wouldn't tighten them down too tight because you're tightening into an aluminum case. Just make them nice and snug. So there we have them put on, the foot pegs put on. Now for the kickstand. The kickstand for these are pretty simple. With these bikes, they're not the quality that you're gonna find in a Yamaha. They're not the quality you're gonna find in a Honda or any of the other Japanese made bikes. They're a little bit shoddy. And the parts, you know, they are really universal, but you're kind of getting what you paid for. And they are fine. They're good. They're good products for a kid. It's good to have something they can beat around and you're not going to care about sometimes. washer, a cotter pin so that it doesn't fall off. All right, we're gonna move up to the handlebar here. This old kill switch is a little bit janky, but I'm just gonna keep it. It's not a big deal. It's just a kill switch. They're really easy to find. I could get another one, but I'm just not really that worried about it. So I'm just gonna leave it the way it is for now. So I'm gonna do something that might be a little controversial. I've got this clutch lever, and to be honest, it's a little bit loose. So I'm gonna use a shim that I cut from a pop can. This may not be the absolute best way to do it. In this scenario, I think it'll be just fine. It's not a life-threatening critical part. If it moves a little bit, nobody's gonna get hurt. So in this case, instead of buying a new set of handlebars or a different clutch lever, I'm just gonna use a shim. Now for the grip here, what I'm gonna use is just a little bit of craft bond adhesive. One thing a lot of people use is just a little bit of hairspray, and you just squirt it down in there. If it's a snug fit in the first place, it should only take 20 minutes, but I've had it take longer, so be prepared to wait. If you put it on there and in a couple hours it still twists, maybe you have to wait longer, maybe you have to reapply. Sometimes these are a really snug fit. Sometimes you really have to work it on there. But in this case, this handlebar is pretty narrow. That's why we needed the shim. I think this is gonna work just fine. All right, we have the new cable here, and we have all of our pieces. Now this is your slide and your needle jet, and you do not want to lose this. Obviously it's a pretty big piece, you probably won't lose it, but you have to be really careful. You have this, you put this. You have to have all your pieces through there. Slide that through. This goes through here, through your spring. Now there's only one way this slide goes in, and there's a little pin on the inside that lines up with this adjustment screw right here, and it falls down onto this little slot right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it only goes in one way. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Just work until you kind of get it where it needs to be. It should slide up. There it goes. Slide right down in there. Technically, you can take the carburetor off and do this, but I'm trying to avoid that. You want to be really careful not to cross thread this onto here. If you cross thread it, you're gonna ruin your carburetor. There it is. See that? If it works, you pull this little thing here and it should snap back in. Just like that. All right, so we're gonna put our cable in, and obviously you want it so that when you pull it, it pulls the throttle. So I don't know if you can see, there's a little notch in there that it slips into. Needs a little adjustment, but we'll get it worked out. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. Got quite a bit accomplished today, not too bad for a Sunday afternoon. I didn't get to the front brake, which I was kind of hoping to, but I'll just deal with the brakes all together when I get to the brakes. I still have that issue with the rear brake where the mounting bracket doesn't quite match up with the rear caliper. So I've got to figure out what to do with that. I'm not sure if I'm going to fabricate something for that or just go order the correct parts. I'm not sure yet. We'll get to that when we get there. Thanks for watching. Again, you can find me on Instagram at NobleMoto. Also, check out motorquestnetwork.com for some really great motorcycle content. There's motorcycle racing, some video on demand. Last winter, there was live ice racing, and there's live ice racing that you can check out on demand now. Hopefully this summer, there'll be some drag racing and flat track racing. Also live events that'll be coming up. Check the schedule for that. motorquestnetwork.com. All right, thanks so much for watching. Peace out.